Ravens dominate the Packers 41-24 on the backs of Derrick Henry. Season high 36 carries, 216 yards, 4 touchdowns. Shout out to the offensive line, tight ends blocking. Shout out to Snoop Huntley.
Tonight was just really fun. Just like Coach said, I did the prayer before the game, and I just talked about guys just playing free and trusting and believing in each other. Now, we've been through a lot this season. There's no shying away from that. We know what we need to do to be able to still give ourselves a chance. And that's just playing for each other and understanding that, the Lord's going to be there with us regardless. And he's been there with us this whole time. So, hats off to guys just blocking, O-line, like Coach Harvey said, tight ends, receivers, fullbacks. It's the unselfishness of them, sacrificing, their bodies, for us to have success in the run game and dominate the line of scrimmage and dictate the game the way we want to.
What's up, Ravens fans? A win feels good. I know the season's still on the brink. We're all going to be tuning in to the Steelers-Browns game tomorrow, but let's celebrate this one while we're here. The Ravens did exactly what they were supposed to do on offense, and Derrick Henry got a season-high 36 carries for 216 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, absolute dominant day on the ground. Shout out to the offensive line, tight ends. They were moving bodies. This was the best run blocking game all year. And last week against the Patriots, the run blocking and run game was going too, but we went away from Henry. Did not make that same mistake in this game, and also operated a smart, quick passing game, which I did expect. We usually do with Snoop, and shout out to Snoop too, man. He delivered quick, decisive passing. He was accurate. He took off quickly when there was space. We were calling QB draws. This offense was in their bag. Shout out to Todd Monken. I thought the game plan and execution on the offense was incredible. Shout out to Zay Flowers for that touchdown. We dominated time of possession in this one and got into a bunch of third and shorts. That's what I was saying in the pregame episode. I was like, can we just get into more third and shorts? Every time we're in 3rd and 9 or longer, it seems like the drive's over. But when we're in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, even 3rd and 4, and we're still running Henry, we are a tough offense to stop. And I got to give this offensive line credit as well. I thought that was Derrick Henry's best game of the entire season. That was also the offensive line's best game of the entire season, man. They were moving the Packers. I know the Packers weren't fighting for everything, but even their coach was pissed at halftime. He was like, we're getting big boyed. We're getting bullied. And that's exactly what the Ravens did on offense, man. We'll talk about the defense in a second. I know it wasn't all pretty, but this was a dominant performance from the Ravens offense. 41 points on the board, and I just could not be more satisfied with what I saw across the board. I know we didn't have a lot of yards through the air. We didn't throw a ton in this one. Didn't have to. Didn't even have to worry about pass blocking much in this one. The ball was coming out of Tyler Huntley's hands quick. He was decisive. They were safe throws. Just throw it to the underneath guy who's open. This was smart football, man. This is how the Ravens should be playing. And I know when Lamar's there, we're not going to run Henry 36 times. It's obviously an outlier game, but just the game plan overall, we can take some notes from playing this way, man. I think that we need more of a quick passing game when Lamar's out there. This is a smart way to play football. The Ravens controlled the game. They held on to the ball and absolutely dominated time of possession. Ravens possessed the ball for 40 minutes and 16 seconds to the Packers 19 minutes and 44 seconds, and the Ravens offense had no turnovers. You're going to win pretty much every game, because if you look at the total yards, the Ravens have 414 total yards to the Packers 363. It wasn't a mismatch when it comes to yards, but the Packers turned the ball over twice. The Ravens did not turn the ball over, and the Ravens controlled the game on the ground. Tyler Huntley was 16 of 20 for 107 yards, 1 touchdown, was sacked once, had 105.6 rating, and was averaging 5.4 yards per throw, which really shows you that we were throwing quick and operating a very successful quick passing game, which is the game plan. That is a smart game plan. As we said earlier, Derrick Henry, 36 carries, 216 yards, 4 touchdowns, was averaging 6 yards a carry on 36 carries. That's crazy. Tyler Huntley was also effective on the ground, 8 carries for 60 yards. Keaton Mitchell had 9 carries for 31 yards. Not too much through the air. Zay led the way, 4 catches for 30 yards. yards and that touchdown. Mark Andrews, 4 catches for 28 yards. Isaiah Likely, 2 catches for 27 yards. I just could not be more impressed with how this Ravens offense played in this game. The play calling by Monken, he was in his bag. The operation by the entire thing from Snoop Huntley, the touchdown throw to Zay, but also just how effective he was operating that quick passing game, taking off on the ground when it was there. He took off aggressively too, man. It was quick. He knew when there was a lane, he hit it. And I really hope we keep Snoop around. I think he is the perfect backup quarterback to Lamar Jackson. And if he gets a starting job or opportunity somewhere else, I wouldn't be mad at that either. I don't want to lose him personally just as a Ravens fan, but he also deserves a shot, man. This is the best football Tyler Huntley has ever been playing in his entire career this season. We've seen Snoop take his game to another level this season, man. Just super impressed with what I saw tonight. I know he didn't blow the stat sheet out of the water. We obviously gave the ball to Derrick Henry a ton, and he had a dominant game, but I just wanted to shout out Snoop, man. I really loved what I saw tonight. And Derrick Henry, my goodness, man. If only we would have fed him last week against the Patriots, we wouldn't have lost that game. I'm telling you, this guy is unstoppable. He looked like the best running back in football tonight. The Packers wanted nothing to do with Derrick Henry, and we fed him, man. We asked to feed him, and they fed him 36 times. You can't ask much more than that. That is the most carries by any football player in the entire NFL this season. So shout out to Derrick Henry, man. It wasn't all good. Our pass defense was absolutely disgusting in this game. Malik Willis, hell of a game from him. 18 of 21, 288 passing yards, 1 touchdown, was sacked once, but had a 134.6 rating. I mean, Malik Willis played a hell of a game. He also led the team in rushing by a mile. 9 carries for 60 yards, 2 touchdowns. Behind him, Emmanuel Wilson had 3 carries for 16 yards. Josh Jacobs only 4 carries for 3 yards. The Ravens contained the ground game well, besides when Malik kept it to the edge and scored those 2 touchdowns. Christian Watson absolutely tore us up through the air. 5 catches for 113 yards and a touchdown. Romeo Doubs, 3 catches for 62 yards. Jaden Reed, 4 for 41. Bo Melton had 1 for 34. The Ravens' pass defense tonight was disgusting, and I didn't like the game plan at all. I thought we were playing way too far off and still getting burnt. That's what was really blowing my mind, especially with Wiggins. He's playing 15 yards off and then still biting on the route. Just way too soft to coverage. There was early miscommunication, especially on that first drive. I know the Ravens defense expected them to run. We obviously kept the ground game in check outside of the 2 keepers from Malik Willis to the edge, but other than that, the Ravens run defense was great today. It's just they didn't run the ball. The Packers are like, all right, yeah, you're going to stop the run. We're going to torch you through the air, and the Ravens had no answer, man. They weren't able to generate a lot of pressure. Shout out to Travis Jones. He had 2 sacks in this one, but the Ravens weren't getting home quickly, and Malik Willis was torching us, man. This is a backup quarterback, but I got to give credit where credit's due. He looked incredible tonight. I just think that the Ravens defense had a really bad game plan, man, and I know we dominated this game, but we really dominated because the offense absolutely ate up the time of possession and put 41 points up on the board. If the Ravens offense would have had a turnover or 2 or just got stopped more, I think this Ravens defense would have continued to leak and would have let up 30 plus. This Ravens defense was not great tonight. I know they had 2 turnovers. One of them just was a miscommunication snap when Malik was changing the play, hits him in the face mask. Mike Green recovers, and then Marlon Humphrey gets a interception off of a dropped pass. So kind of 2 gifted turnovers, and it did impact the game, but it's not like the Ravens defense really caused it. I definitely did not like what I saw from the Ravens defense at all tonight, and especially from a game plan perspective. I felt like we could have been a little bit more aggressive. We could have been tighter in coverage, and we just gave them way too much space, and they ripped us. But even with the Ravens defense having a bad night, They came out with a dominant win, 41-24. They're now 8-8 on the season, and all eyes are on this Browns-Steelers game tomorrow, man. The Ravens will be fighting to get in the playoffs next week against Pittsburgh if they lose to the Browns tomorrow. It is a big if. Most likely they don't lose to the Browns, but they're without DK Metcalf. They're without TJ Watt. The Browns are playing a little bit better. They obviously have a strong defense. You never know, man. It's a division game. Everybody's going to be glued in to this Browns-Steelers game tomorrow. And maybe I'm too excited right now and it won't matter in 24 hours, but I'm enjoying this win, man. The Ravens did what they were supposed to do tonight, especially on offense. They fed Derrick Henry from start to finish, 36 carries, and he delivered. This offensive line delivered. And because of that, they still got a chance. We'll see what happens with this Steelers game tomorrow. It is out of the Ravens' hands. Unfortunately, they put themselves in this position, but they did what they could tonight, man. So hoping for a Browns win, to be honest with you. I definitely want to see Lamar come back, have a showdown in Pittsburgh next week. I think the NFL wants to see that, man. They want the drama. You know, if the NFL is rigged or scripted theory is true, which I really don't believe, but if it is true, they want the Browns to beat the Steelers. Trust me, because there is not really any meaningful games next week to get in the playoffs or, you know, for the division win. And the Ravens Steelers for the AFC North next week is cinema. Let me know what your thoughts are on this game, the Browns Steelers game tomorrow, where the Ravens stand right now at 8-8. And are you worried about the defense, especially the pass defense? I really feel like it was just an awful game plan. It definitely wasn't executed well either. The players didn't have their best night, especially guys like Wiggins, but it was also just kind of not a smart game plan. You know, we really thought that Malik Willis wasn't going to air it out like that, and the Packers weren't going to just torch us through the air. They thought they were going to have more of a balanced run game, and they just stopped running the ball. They're like, all right, yeah, they're selling out to stop the run, but they're basically playing prevent defense with super soft coverage. We're just going to attack that, and it worked. But I feel like if the Ravens had a different game plan, played a little bit more aggressive, a little bit tighter coverage, you probably wouldn't have had as much success. So hopefully they learn from that. But let me know what you guys are thinking about everything. Appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your night, and let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game take us out. Go Browns.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the Flock Rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly.